Today we're gonna talk about electricity slash lightning. Someone asked me to show how I draw electricity, which I mean is, electric powers and stuff like that, the kind of spark, the lightning from electricity. But I thought I would also do lightning because it's kind of the same way I think about it. So I thought I would just take two stones and, at the same time. So, when it comes to electricity, or lightning, or the lightning effect, it's kind of a easy thing I do, but I usually do it in a very 80s stylized version. And when I mean 80s, I mean kind of like, from Terminator, the lightning effects that show some kind of blue. Usually it's kind of white with a very light blue outline and then some blue glow around it. You can also see it very much in anime. For instance, this from the Street Fighter 2 animated movie, you can see the lightning is still white. Here they have no light blue outline, but they have a more light blue and a dark blue glow to it, to show more of a spark, more power. So that's usually what I do. So here we have just a character that we're gonna put some lightning around. So for this, I'm gonna go first and I'm gonna pick a red color because I want you to see exactly what it is I am drawing. So the first thing to think about is, how does the lightning or the electricity travel around the body? For instance, in the Street Fighter picture, you can see it's kind of like collecting, it's coming from the outside into the body, but you can also see it's kind of going around a little bit. Same thing here, it travels around the character. So what we're gonna try and do is gonna go and some random strokes like this. And you can see it doesn't look like much, but I'm trying to think about, okay, so maybe the lightning comes, like in the Street Fighter picture, it comes from outside. So maybe it comes like this. And we're gonna do just the main kind of line like this. Okay? What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a little bit bigger brush and I'm just gonna go random, like make it really choppy so it doesn't feel like there's a specific pattern. I'm trying to make it as random as possible. So I'm trying to give it up the control just to, make sudden moves so we get a kind of randomness to the lightning. Even try to mix up the width and height of the lines so they are not all matching. And I'm gonna go as well and do some let's see, I'm gonna take a smaller here and I'm gonna go and do some lines that stick out, some sub electricity lines to show it's really electricity. Even here I'm gonna go and do some differences in the lines and just try to make it random, make it look like right. I'm not having any plan, I'm just trying to make it look like it's lightning. When I can see it in my eyes, when it's believable in my eyes, that's when I'm satisfied. So for instance, here we go, here we have some lightning now that comes from outside and goes down around the arm. And I'm satisfied with the lightning effects, I think. Yes, I'm gonna go and just do one more here. Here we go, and maybe one little line like this. Yes, there we go. So it's kind of accumulating in the arm there. Of course, this is not gonna be red. You can do a red lightning if you want to, but that's not the thing I want to do here. I just did red so you can see what I am doing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is gonna lock this, and I'm just gonna go to white. I'm just gonna mark it all, and boom, we have lightning or electricity. But now we have to make it look a little bit more effectful. We want the glow, we want the power in the electricity. So here's what I usually do. I duplicate the white layer, I lock it, and I pick a very bright, just so you can see a difference from the white. So like this, a very light, and I'm gonna go like this, because right now the layer is on top of the white, but we're gonna move it down once we're done painting it all blue. Move it underneath, remove the lock, and I'm just gonna do a strong blur. Let's see, yeah, a little bit more we could do. Another strong blur. And maybe I'm gonna go with a darker blue after all, so we can get some real effect. There we go. And I'm gonna go, once again, I'm gonna go with Gaussian blur. Maybe I should push it a little bit, so we get a good effect. Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little bit less. There we go. So we already have now sort of a effect, okay? But I'm gonna do this again. So we're gonna name it. The top is gonna be the white. This is the light blue. Okay, so you can keep up. Underneath the light blue, and I'm not gonna do a new layer, sorry. I'm just gonna duplicate the white layer again, move it down below underneath the light blue. We're gonna do dark blue. We're gonna unlock it. Nope, we're not. We're gonna lock it still, and we're gonna take a much darker blue here, and of course paint it all like this. And once we're done, I'm gonna remove the lock, and now we're gonna go to town on the Gaussian blur. Let's see here, we're gonna get much more. There we go. We want a real glow. Now this is the color part. This is where you get the blue. This is a very simple version of it. You can do more. You can, for instance, duplicate this layer and put it underneath and do even crazier. We can even go really nuts with the, here we go, boom. Maybe even not have it at full capacity. So now we have two dark blues, one light blue, and we can even do this. Duplicate the light blue, could put some add and glow, and you see where we get with that. But we're gonna do also a duplicate layer of white, because the white is now very sharp, which it should be, but you should also have a layer on top which is unlocked, and we're gonna go with Gaussian blur, and we're gonna make the white a little bit more glowy. It's sort of like that. I like that. And maybe we can lower. You can see what's happened when we lower it. So we get a nice glow. Sometimes you have to go back to the original white. Maybe just do a very simple little blur, so we take the edge off. And then you have lightning. Here you have lightning, or electricity as I call it. But remember, when you have lightning or electricity, it's a light. So what we have to remember is, oh, let's see, where do we have, there we have the color. So what we have to remember is this. Now we're gonna get, I'm gonna go and clip it at layer below, because this is the skin color. So I'm gonna go and just type skin. All right, so this is gonna be our shadow. I'm just gonna call it that, and I'm gonna go with a darker kind of grayish blue here, and just to show you what happens. So what's gonna happen? Here's the light source now. So what we have is, oh, let's see. I have to. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna do a layer on top. So now we have kind of like the light source coming from this because of the lightning. So it's gonna come here, you know, affecting everything. Here it's gonna be the lightest, but it's also gonna cast shadow on the other side of the body. So for instance, I'm gonna take a very big brush, lower it down a little bit, so we get some soft shadows. But it's gonna become kind of like this, where we have light on one side because the lightning or the electricity is on this side. So we're gonna get a shadow cast, and maybe this arm doesn't show any light. And here you can work something out. You can, you know, show more depth. You can go more, show where the body is and stuff like that in more detail using the shadows. But you have to have shadows because otherwise you're not gonna have the effect of the electricity. Same thing goes with this. We're gonna do not only shadows, but we also have to do a light, or lights as I usually call it, and pick more like a white color. I'm gonna go just simply white so you can see what I mean. And I'm gonna do highlights. So this is where the light is strongest. Around the lightning here, it's gonna become very light. We're gonna see some light bounce off of the shapes there is in the body. Maybe we have some light here after all. And here it's gonna become very, very light. And here you can also do, if you want to, you can go in and do kind of like more sharp, perhaps more sharp light that really follows a shape, just to get it to become a little bit stronger, sort of like this. And we can put it in, you know, glow if we want to. If we want to make it really strong, we can do it like this. And you can see I'm not using much add glow here. I'm putting it at 25. And you can see the lighting effect. And I'm gonna go here. We're gonna go perhaps even darker if we want the light to have a very big effect. We could also even do a second layer of shadows and have pretty much the darkest, almost black, in the furthest area here, just to get, you know, some contrast to the other side, which is clearly having a lot of light around it. So that's one thing you have to remember, that lightning and electricity gives off a very bright light, and you have to kind of display it on either the body, or if it's an object or whatever it is, you have to show it that it's actually a light source. You know, you can't just have electric powers, because if you look at this, you can see how light everything is here and how dark it is where it's not. And yes, there is a lightning going here and it's a shadow, but he's channeling everything. You can see he's creating a light source here, and they're using the shadows for a dramatic effect. Here, it's more of a, in the bubble that he traveled in Terminator, you can see that the lightning is kind of fading away. This is a shot where the bubble has already arrived, disappeared, and now the lightning is going away, therefore not much light. But you can see there's light on the body as well. So, but you also have to remember that the shadows are important as well. It creates an effect of very bright, powerful light. So this is how I do electricity, and when it comes to lightning, it's pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna go and do a let's see, we're gonna do the clouds here. I'm just gonna go and take a darker brush. Let's see, do I have any good cloud brushes perhaps? Can't remember. if I do, let's see, I'm gonna go boom here. Yeah, I have some good. Let's just do some clouds in the background here. So usually I try to do the dark cloud first, you know, to get the lightning mood kind of going, and try to make it so we know that there is that kind of weather for a lightning to show up. And this is working, I think. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's just go up here and make so it feels, whoa, sorry, my bad. Here we go. So now we have the cloud, and on top of that I'm gonna make our lightning. So once again I'm gonna go now with the white, and let's go with that brush, and here we go, and just put that on there. So here I'm gonna go and do a lightning. So once again I'm gonna go like this. The thing that is different from electricity is that I usually try to make it a little bit bigger in the where the source comes from, so it's kind of like bigger there, and it gets smaller where it travels down. So for instance, I'm gonna go bigger, and you can see I'm not trying to do much details like this. I'm just gonna go, and I'm gonna go up like this. Yeah, it works fine. The lighting doesn't have to be perfect, and when it comes to, you know, splitting off, I try to aim it down, because that's how lightning is traveling down. Very big up here, like this, and get smaller. So I try to show it in my lines that everything has a bigger start, but gets smaller the further down it comes. So you can see that even the sub lightning branches here are getting smaller, but are still thick at the start. So here we have a kind of okay lightning. Okay, I'm gonna go like that, and there we go. That works. And I'm just gonna go and do one up here, because what I'm gonna do up here is I'm actually gonna go and do a little bit of the clouds like this, so you can kind of see that it comes out of the clouds and it creates lightning on those clouds like this. And I'm gonna take a smudge brush and just try to make it not so not cloudy, I guess, so it doesn't feel like it's painted on, more like it's smudged. It's kind of creating effect. You can see here it's a little bit more softer, a little bit more random like this. And I also usually take a soft brush and just at the ending here just try to make those a little bit more darker, so they blend into the dark clouds that I created before, like such. And you can see it kind of works. So here we have the lightning, I'm gonna call it. We're gonna duplicate that layer, put it under. I'm gonna go with a blue, a lighter blue like that. Let's lock it. I'm gonna take more sharp. I'm just gonna go up to where the cloud is, so I don't paint everything. I'm just gonna go with the lightning, and just like that. Here we go. I think that works. And of course then we go through the filters. I'm gonna go Gaussian. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that works. And we're gonna do another one of the original layers. We're gonna duplicate that again, because we don't want to copy a blurred layer. We want the original so we can control it. Putting it down there under everything again, and we're gonna go with a darker blue. Once again, we're gonna paint everything except the cloud part. So we're just gonna get like this. Fine. And we're gonna go nuts with the blur. Let's see what we get. Yes, I'm gonna go even bigger like that. We want a very broad, very blurry blue. There we go. That works for me. And once again, we're gonna duplicate the original layer, but now we're gonna go and stay on top. And we're gonna go and do a Gaussian blur just to get the glow. And I like that glow, it works for me. I'm gonna do a one simple little blur on the original, just so we don't get too sharp. And I think that's about it. Because you can see, I don't have the darkest background here. I put a purple. But let's see if we duplicate the layer and we put it on multiply, you can see a little bit more of the effect. But sometimes you have to have something that shows the power, so to speak. And maybe we could use a lighter instead of a dark blue like we have now. So for instance, let's remove that blue. No, we're gonna keep that blue. We're gonna lock it and let's put a more lighter blue on it. Was I wrong? Oh, there we go. So we're gonna put a lighter blue instead of the dark blue, and then you can see a little bit more of the effect. Maybe we could go even more lighter depending on how dark the background is. You can see the difference here. So once again, you can play with this, more layers, how blurry do you want it, and also remember, what is the focus? Is it the lightning? Because if it's in the background, maybe it should be a little bit blurry because, the character in front perhaps is the most important part. But this is how I do electricity and lightning. It's random lines that I see that kind of works, and then it's about, creating glow and layers, which you use by doing Gaussian blur, and trying to get the effect. But what I always remember is the white lines, a blue, very soft outline perhaps, and then the blue, light blue to dark blue glow behind those white lines. Of course, maybe when you're on skin like this, maybe you should not do it, because as you can see on this skin, not always working. Maybe you should not do it here, maybe just on the outside so you can show it more glowing like that, but sometimes it works on skin as well. So I hope you have learned something, and I hope you can understand what I've said about using layers and effects, and adding, trying, raising, lowering opacity, maybe using add glow, which we have here, and just trying to find your strength in the lightning or electricity. That's it for me today. I hope you can type something in the comments what you want to learn next. Like I said, or like I always say, I'm here for you. If you want to learn something, please let me know in the comments. You can ask as many times as you want. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I already asked. If you want to learn something, please let me know. I will put it on the list and I will try to make a video for you. So, I will see you in the next tutorial video. Bye!